Hi, this video will take you through the open house presentation I would like to do if I had more than 5 minutes to do a presentation. So I am Ms. Taylor. I teach IED, Digital Electronics, and Algebra II, and this video will give you some information about myself, an overview of a general information relevant to all of my classes, and then talk a little bit about each course specifically. So a little bit about myself. I'm not from Jacksonville. I'm not even from Florida. I'm not even from the Southeast United States. I am from a city in Massachusetts called Brockton, which you can see on your screen is right about here. It's about halfway between Boston and Cape Cod, which is under the little video. I've lived in Jacksonville since 2007, and I've taught at Atlantic Coast since the second year the school was opened in 2011. My educational background is a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, and I have an MAT in Mathematics, which dovetails nicely with what I have the opportunity to teach here at Atlantic Coast. General information for all classes. My email is taylorr, so Taylorr @duvalschools.org. That is the best way to contact me with any questions that are not addressed in this presentation or any questions or concerns that you come up with during the course of the school year. Other important information for all classes is where do you go for information about your child's specific course? Well, I keep a OneNote notebook. It's like a notebook, except it's digital, and it's linked through Teams. So each class has a tab at the top that links them over to the OneNote notebook. It is the best one-stop shop for class info and resources. It gives tech info, posted lesson videos, homework, and so forth. So over here, I have a sample from my Algebra II. Course documents has things like the syllabus, it has the retake policy, like general information about the policies of the class. There's a link to information about the summer assignment. So if you're watching this video for Algebra II, there's more on that later. Technology info, we use a lot of electronics, a lot of platforms, and students often don't know how to get to that platform or how to log in. That tab takes you to all of the different links and tells you how to set up your accounts. And then we are just finishing Unit 1, but in Unit 1, a student can click on that and then see pages for each lesson. And then you can see over here on the page for Unit 5, there's a link to the warm-up. The lesson PowerPoint is posted. There's actually a video with the lesson being taught, kind of like the video you're watching right now. And there's also completed class notes that are available. So if a student is absent for lesson 5 or for any part of lesson 5, this is where they would want to go to find the material that they're missing. Other information that parents often want to know is what do you expect in your classes? So I have really broad expectations. I expect my students to come to class prepared to work. So they should have something to write with, they should have their notebook, they should have completed homework, whatever it is that they need to work in class that day. I expect my students to ask questions. I love questions. Be proactive when absent. I know I spent quite a bit of time at the beginning of the year really talking to them about what it means to be proactive. And I told them back in the day when I was in school, if I was absent, there was really nothing I could do. There wasn't email, there wasn't the internet. Maybe if I had a friend that was in the class, I could get from my friend, what section did, so-and-so cover or what's the homework. But there's so many more resources now for when students are absent. There's many ways to get in touch with me. I have a Remind, we have Teams, we have email, there's a notebook with the lessons. So students, when they're absent, really need to take that initiative and find out what was going on in class. Particularly true if there's a lot of absences, because if the mindset is, I will just wait until I get back and then I'll make up all of it, and I remind them you have 8 classes. So you really want to take advantage of the resources you have. And then respect school policies such as dress code, tardies, cell phones, etc. This particular student wrapped his cell phone in masking tape so that there was no question about whether he was using it. So, but you get the idea there. Now, for my specific classes for IED, that stands for Introduction to Engineering Design, a lot of parents want to know, what is it? What class did my child end up in? So IED is an intro course that exposes students to various aspects of engineering with particular focus on the design process. There's a lot of focus on the mindset of engineers. How do engineers approach a problem? How do engineers document their work, regardless of their discipline, whether they're a mechanical, civil, chemical, so forth. Key features of the class: it is an honors level elective, and it's the first course in our engineering academy sequence. There is instruction in Fusion 360 and or Onshape. Both of those are CAD programs where they can get, well, for Fusion, they can get potential industry certification if they can demonstrate their skills in that software. We design plenty of stuff and we can send it to our 3D printers. So it's a neat experience for students to be able to have a design in their head, actualize it in the computer, and then see the 3D printer bring that idea to life. There's also opportunity for college credit via the PLTW final exam. PLTW is the organization that provides our curriculum. And so at the end of the year, they take the district final, but they also take the PLTW final. And depending on how they do on that, it can transfer into college credit at certain partner schools. And it's the kind of thing they can send to any school and see, like, what can you do for me with this exam score? Things that you need to know: it is very hard to make up an engineering course when you're absent. So being proactive is essential. That's going to be on the next slide as well. Particularly so because, as you can see from that photo, kids are working in groups. This is a project that we're actually working on right now at the time of me recording this, where students are building games for a carnival, and they have to build them and test them, and they're working together. They have to document their work, and it's really, really hard to make that up or know what your team did if you're not here. So when a student is absent, they need to reach out to me. These particular groups for this project have a private channel in Teams where they can post messages or ask their teammates, what did you do in class today? The other big need to know is we need business partners and parents on our advisory board that advises the academy. There's more on that in a couple slides. We meet 3 or 4 times per year for about 30 minutes via Zoom. And like I said, I'll give more details later in this video. For digital electronics, so what is this course? This is a course in digital electronic circuit design, covering many or most of the topics from a college level course in digital logic. Last year was the first year I taught this course. I actually brought in my college book on digital logic, and I let the kids flip through it, and it became very apparent that most of the topics that are in that college level book were things that we were doing in this particular class. I love it. It really is the part of electrical engineering that I loved the most when I was in college, so I enjoy teaching the class. Key features: it's an honors level elective, just like IED. It is the third course in our engineering academy. There is a course called Principles of Engineering, and that is wedged in between. As with IED, there's an opportunity for college credit via the PLTW exam, and students get experience in multi-sim. There is no industry cert for multi-sim. It is a circuit simulation program. It's an excellent program. Totally wish that I had had that when I was in school. Students become quite proficient in that program. Things to know: same things from IED. Very, very hard to make it up when absent. So being proactive is essential. And in the photograph over on the right, this was looks like a series circuit. So we were doing series and parallel circuits. Students were building them on the breadboard and then using the multimeter, which is kind of right over there on the edge there, to measure the circuit and comparing like our math calculations to what we're measuring to what the simulator tells us that it should be. But it's very, very hard to make that up. In fact, multi-sim is only available on the school laptops. There's a web-based version called Multi-Sim Live, which I have had some students get pretty good at, but it's learning a different program. So again, if a student's absent, they really need to be on top of what were the handouts, what's the instructional video, what were we working on. And the same with IED. We need business partners and parents on our advisory board. Again, 3 or 4 times a year for about 30 minutes via Zoom. And I think the next slide is where I have the more information. So we are an academy. Last year, we achieved advanced academy status, and the goal is for us to progress every year. To be considered a CTE academy, there are certain things we need to check off. We need to show that we have business partnerships. We need to show that we have an advisory board. We need to show opportunities for students to participate in things outside of the classroom. And so we're always looking to build that. We are a very young academy. In fact, we don't even have our 4th class yet. We're that young, but we're always looking to build and improve. So the advisory board is one of the ways that we do this. The role of the advisory board is to assess the status of the academy and make recommendations for next steps. It's a way of getting input from parents, input from students. We have a couple students serving on the board from last year who want to continue serving on our advisory board. We need other faculty members at the school, and then a big part of that is people from higher education and people that are in industry to let us know, how can we be preparing students for college? How can we be preparing them for a career? What are the things that Mr. Rollins is the other engineering teacher, and I need to be doing in our classrooms to prepare these students for the next step. So the commitment, because I always want to know, what am I committing to before I say I'm interested? We meet via Zoom for about 30 minutes, 3 times per academic year. We might meet a 4th time. Last year, we only met 3 times, typically in the late afternoon or early evening. So a lot of the times, I think in the meetings last year, a couple of them I was here on campus still. I had not gone home. One of them I know I was at home Zooming in for it. It's about 30 minutes. An agenda is provided, and we talk about what's going on in the academy. We do need to vote on things sometimes. Last year we needed to vote on bylaws and a mission and a vision statement. We have those in place now. So this year is really about how can we add more opportunities. We also love to have guest speakers in the field of engineering who can share with students what they do and help them make them more aware of career opportunities in engineering. It's a lot of fun. The kids totally get tired of listening to me. So when we can have somebody come in from any business company that does engineering and just talk about what they do for a living, it really, really helps expose the kids to the opportunities and options that are out there. So if you are interested in either of these, there is going to be, I hope, a link in the upper corner of this video somewhere. Maybe it'll be over here. Okay. To a form that you can fill out. Even if you don't think you can guest speak, but you have a family member who can, or you know somebody from outside of school or outside your family, and you're like, I know somebody who works for an engineering firm and they would love to come in and speak. I'd like to put you in touch with them. Please click on that link and let me know. It's going to go to a form. It's not a commitment to join. It's just letting me know that I can reach out to you with more information, and it'll give you a chance to ask some more questions for me. So please go ahead, and that's what the link should take you to. I guess you could try to copy that if you want to, but I am going to try to link a card into this video when I upload it. All right, and last but not least, for Algebra 2, what is Algebra 2? It is an upper-level math course that prepares students for college-level mathematics regardless of planned college major. So most college degree programs will require students to complete a math requirement, and usually the lowest level math requirement that will count for college-level mathematics overlaps what we cover in Algebra 2. So even if a student is planning to major in Spanish or history or something that's not STEM related, taking Algebra 2 can help get them that foundation so that they can knock out that college class. Key features that I think it's important to be aware of. It is a brand new curriculum. It's a brand new test, final, everything. So I am in the process of adjusting, as are the students. So if your child has said something about being aggravated with the book or not knowing where to find stuff, I share that aggravation. It's been a real learning process. I am adjusting. I'm figuring out like what I like and what I don't like and how I want the students to turn in work. But it is completely brand new. It is completely online. And so they should have the link to the textbook. It's over in OneNote under the tech links. They should be synced to it. We've had a lot of glitches with it though, but I thought it was important to let parents know that that was going on. Things that you need to know. There was a summer assignment. Many of the students found out about the summer assignment on the first day of school, which is not surprising. That assignment is due September 23rd. I have been posting on the board in my room kind of where you should be in it so that you get finished by the 23rd. At the 23rd, I'll grade all the ones that I have. Students that are missing it are going to get hit with the 0. I will allow makeups until the end of the term. And I did tell the students that the reason I set the 23rd was so students could see how that was going to impact their grade, and they would still have time to make it up and fix it. So they still have about 3 weeks. I will take it, no penalty on there. Just the 23rd is the date that it's going to show up in focus. There is a link to all the information that they need over in OneNote to what the explanation is. There's a demonstration video for what they should be doing, and then a link to a playlist. Yeah, so I've gotten several of them so far. And other need to knows, there are several safety nets in place, including tutoring. I set aside Monday afternoons for tutoring, and I plan to be here till 3 o'clock. Students don't have to stay the whole time. I'm also around other days after school. It just depends. So I usually say it's by appointment. So let me know if you want to stay. I'll let you know if it's clear. I also have a retake policy and a late work policy, and that information is available in OneNote as well for how that works, so that students know that there are ways to kind of catch them if life gets ahead of them. We hope that doesn't happen, but we all know that life happens. So you can check that out. If you check that out and it doesn't answer your questions, or you have more questions for me, then I would love to have you send me an email. So if you have a question I have not addressed in this video, please email me and let me know. And again, that is my email address, taylor@duvalschools.org. If there's anything that you want to reach out to me about, that is the best way to get a hold of me. And I would love to answer any questions that you have. I love what I do. I love being a teacher. I love being at Atlantic Coast. And it is my goal that every single student who sits in my classroom has what they need to be successful in my class, and then certainly beyond my class. So if there's something I can do or a question I can answer, don't hesitate at any time to reach out. So this is about a 17-minute video, not possible to do in a 5-minute open house, but I hope it was more comprehensive. And again, let me know if there's any questions.